I'm so pumped for this Schopenhauer release, man. It's like I didn't think I would find so much enjoyment. It's like a homework assignment that I actually was like, wow, this is really fulfilling. And the fact that I did it on myself and I didn't listen to some fuck teach me about it, you know.
That's sick, man. I feel that a lot about life these days. Once you get rid of the necessity to do all this BS, you actually want to do it. You do the things that you want to do. It's the ultimate form of modernity, of growing up.
Yep. Wow. And I just remembered the other day that I was making that exact point. I think I enjoy the philosophy more now because when I was reading it in college, I was doing it for an ego reason to just like debate the professor.
Oh, that's funny.
But now I'm actually trying to like grow and like learn for myself. So this time around, reading philosophical text was different.
Dude, I'm telling you, yeah, the liberal professors, is that what it was?
Yeah, infuriating.
Dude,
man.
they're not even real professors.
Not
like,
at all.
Obviously, the philosopher knows more than you, but they'll find a way to skew it in like their own way that suits their own agenda. That's just kind of how it goes.
Yep, I remember even arguing your point about like the nothingness, like we talked about last week. Being,
what was the line?
The concept of nothing is too unstable to exist, so therefore existence.
Yeah.
And
he wasn't having it.
He was like really upset too.
He got mad at it.
He got mad. It was like
No way.
It was no wonder I didn't like it as much then because I'm like, is this what philosophy is? Angry old guys yelling at you.
Taste in your mouth. Wait, philosophy? I don't think I like this very much.
Because even the really deep smart guys like Jung, apparently they were such a pleasure to be around because they knew themselves. And not to mention
they hated all this establishment stuff. You know?
Yep.
Like they all knew the nonsense that surrounds us.
Right, and that's what Alan Watts said that about Carl Jung because he met him, I guess.
Yep.
He was saying how Carl Jung made everybody feel like Jesus in the room because he knew himself so well that he literally made people feel the opposite of uncomfortable.
That is magical.
I know, right?
Bro,
like,
that feels so real. You know, I've heard so many things that range from like being a mirror to the world is the purest form of energy that people vibe with. Sort of like, I think in many circles, sometimes you think of the chameleon nature in a negative context, but that's kind of what it takes. Everyone is so individual. You don't act the same around everybody, but like if you're sort of this essence of a, dare I say, a Taoist or a nothingness or the gateless gate, then you become the pure form. And all of a sudden, like, especially somebody who's listened as much as Jung did, you make that person feel so important. That's the nature of psychology, I think, a lot of the times. Even Jordan Peterson talks about that.
And all those platitudes can ring so true. He actually did adhere to the platitude of like, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. That means you should be listening just as much as you're talking.
Is that what Jung said?
No, I don't think that. But that's the point, though. You know, you're so observant of everyone else around you that you have no time to be introspective or insecure about yourself in the situation. It's like all external, and you could put the focus on the other.
That's the mastering of the shadow. That's the mastering of the brute. It's just like, I think the brute you were talking about before, as defined by Schopenhauer, was somebody that's too present to have any fear. What was it? Too present to have any fear?
Yeah, the brute has such a short-lived but tragic end to his life that he's like always in the moment because it's like, now's the time to get it done because I'm only here because I'm going to get fucked up by other lions when I'm 5 years old.
Bro, but then life is so cyclical, right? And then you sort of learn away from that, hopefully, ideally in life. Maybe that's coming into adolescence from the child nature, typically, in a typical story. Then you learn that you know not, and then you get to a state, not all of us get to that state, but the Carl Jung state where it's cyclical again. You're at the flow. You can regain what you have lost in childhood. The pure form of childhood, the mastery of the shadow to incorporate the flow state of the nature.
Yep, and it sounds like unreal. It's very rare that you meet someone who can
it is rare.
Break down those boundaries for you.
Get to that end. Wow, that's so true, Doug. Making somebody feel like they're important, because that's what it all is. Like, everybody wants to feel important, and then you realize that if giving is receiving, then it is all cyclical.
And I was talking about the horoscope earlier with the
Bitches
girl.
Bitches be crazy.
Yeah, it's like, although I don't believe in the horoscope, it's like, why do what I've always done and say, I don't believe that bullshit, and just have the conversation start there? I feel like I'm being deceptive at first, but you know what? I'm like, let her run with whatever makes her happy. I'm just gonna be like, oh, you know what that means if you're an Aries.
So you run with it these days. That's your MO, your modus operandi.
Yeah, I just let them fully
be you, girl.
Exactly.
What's our phrase?
Let's use our emotional intelligence.
Guys, the women know.
If anyone knows.
My girls out here know. Let's use our emotional intelligence today. That's our gay phrase of the day. So we got to get ready for it.
That's the first time you said gay phrase.
Is that the first time I actually said it, guys? It's supposed to be. I hope you guys have understood that.
I hope you picked up on the irony.
I hope you guys picked up a little bit. Wow, did I actually just for the first time say gay? That's how it was originally supposed to be. That's what the idea was conceived as, to be the gay phrase of the day. But Evan, I like what you're talking about. I want to dive into this more. So you let the bitches be themselves and you play from there.
It's never been a good end for me to just resist their desire to worship astrology and the horoscope.
You know what it is? Because I feel like they hate logic so much that when you cut something off, when you answer it, this is why they turn away from religion but go towards spirituality, dude. Oh my God, it's all making sense. Because they want the story to continue. You ever heard a story by a woman? They just talk and talk and talk. It doesn't go anywhere. There's no beginning. There's no middle. There's no end. And then this happened. And then this happened. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah. At a certain point, you got to cut it off for sure, just for sanity and the sake of life. But yeah, that's admirable of you, Evan.
Well, for a second...
Do you find benefit in it, too?
If it depends on your end goal.
Are you Christian, baby?
Yeah.
You believe in the Lord? No, yeah. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
Well, that's the struggle, because you find yourself at a weird impasse as a man. It's like I could go hardcore manipulation.
Yep.
Or I could do the right thing, and it's weird where you're at a point you could realize that it's either Satan's path or the godly path, and it's even crazier when you're actually from outside looking at the person making the decision, as opposed to having an ego investment in it and having an end in mind. Because I truly don't know. It's like, which route do you go?
How do you see it as, though? Like, well, let me just ask. You say the word manipulation. I'll skip right to it. But I think that sometimes even that's misconstrued in our own brains. Would you not agree? Like, maybe it's not even manipulation. It's more of the play. You know, why stop the conversation? Sure, they have to know the truth. I mean, to a certain degree, the game has to stop somewhere, right, in this life.
There has to be some seriousness somewhere.
Somewhere the conclusion must be reached. That's deep. That's fucking hot.
The prickles and the goo.
The prickles and the goo, yes. Yeah. But once that's established, like, if I know that we're just playing around, we could talk about whatever. Whoa, right. That's deep too, right? And if it is understood that we're just playing around, we could take it wherever it wants to go.
It's funny, though, because in that scenario, I was playing around and I was letting her be totally serious. But it's like, what purpose do I have in stopping her fun right now?
Yeah.
Because I'm too lazy to come up with the next topic of something to talk about anyways.
Yeah.
And I realize if I try to be deep with a woman, it's going to go nowhere anyways. So I should probably just learn to be playful. And... dumb myself down.
Trying to get that ass.
Oh, he's trying to get that ass. Is it manipulation, folks? Comment.
True.
What knows? So Poge, where's the line between manipulation and sort of just playing the game, baby?
Take the preparatory.
I never lied to a girl.
Oh, you asked me if I ever lied?
No, I said I never did.
Oh, okay.
I guess I gotta enunciate better. You guys can't hear me today.
Sorry, there's just
or maybe
some
I just
stuff
I built up a southern draw in my old life.
Certainly.
Yeah, my past life, I built up this southern draw.
As we age, we get a little more classy in life. Let me
Sorry, what was the question?
I don't know.
Is it manipulation?
Oh, yeah. What's the difference between manipulating and playing the game, baby?
Like I said, Mitch, I ain't never lied to
and you said I never lied to a woman.
No,
is that why you haven't?
I would say the more you manipulate, you're just hurting yourself. You're not playing the game.
Well, sure, but how would you define manipulation?
Oh, define it.
What's the line? Mm-hmm. Where's the line that we draw?
Manipulation, they love this term gaslighting.
That's a big one right now.
Yeah. I still don't really know what it means.
Yeah.
But I remember lights. I remember lights in the 1800s.
lights,
you
gas.
know, like Sherlock Holmes,
You
like
light
lamp.
the gas.
Oil lamps.
To
Gas
enhance.
lights. So I imagine it's like, oh, you just shed enough light for the truth, but you leave them in darkness.
No, what it is you buy some whale blubber. All right, you oil gas lamps, right? You're burning resources, therefore light is illuminated.
I think it's you stoke the lie, the fire
You stoke
of the lie. You stoke the
gaslight.
coals of
gas
lies.
light. No, you guys want the truth?
Light
If
the
there's
gas.
gas within light, you can't see through the light. Think about it. The light bounces off the gas into your eyes. You can't see through it. It's a Batman scene.
a fog.
So you don't know what's real. Gaslight.
It distorts what the actual point is that you're trying to make.
I can't say that's
Distortion.
100% true,
So I
but
would
that's
say
how I always
That's
thought.
the manipulation that I've always heard it of. Every time I was
Yeah.
accused of manipulation, I was called a gaslighter.
Whoa, so how long has this been going on?
No, it's
You got a gaslighter in the room.
We got a
recently.
gaslighter
Not
here.
recently. I'm just saying past,
Sure, that sounds like a college thing. Am
past
I right?
relationships. Like, you're such
Oh,
a
sure.
gaslighter. Kind
I don't
Such
even know you.
These women know no bounds of phrases and names that they
still
come
have
up
no
with.
clue what it means.
That's
but
pretty funny.
That's manipulation, is whatever gaslighting is.
So, okay, so let's break that down. Evan, would you agree that manipulation and gaslighting are similar? Because I've seen them as, I'm going to let you answer.
I agree with your initial point in that I think we make manipulation out to be way more nefarious than it really is.
Yeah.
Because what we might see as manipulation, I don't think women realize how deliberate we are with our interacting with them. That it feels like we're manipulating, but that's just how we live our life in general.
Not to mention, I mean, you got to be retarded at this
Calculated.
point to not know. That's a good one. To not know that dudes are just out for sex. Like, it seems like, yo, am I wrong?
I detected it
Bosh.
in Evan's explanation just now.
He wanted so much ass in every word. I could sense his lust.
Damn. Just trying to gaslight you
Are
guys.
you trying to gaslight us? Oh my God. Wait, where's I go? Yeah, these women act in all these videos that I see that they don't know. It's very strange. I mean, granted, women have their own goals and means, and gaslighting for sure. They invented that shit. Schopenhauer, you could get into that in a minute. But Evan's been reading up on that. But they act like they haven't done that before too. I don't know.
I don't even know if they act. It's just like their essence is just is to just
Manipulation.
hide what is really going
Yeah.
on in reality. But I like how you suggested that our manipulation isn't really manipulation. To them, it's just play, but we think we're being manipulative because with men, we have fun in different ways together, which is very truthful,
True.
abrupt, and to the point. But we
Right.
have to do this suggestive, vague stuff when interacting with women. It's like, oh, you know what that means? It's like, no, I don't. What are you talking about?
You know what that means, dude. That's the best way to interact with women too. It's just like give them just enough information, and then they go the rest of the way, and then you just play with their insecurity. That's 70, whatever. It varies.
See, and that's what makes it sound like manipulation.
Oh my
Play
God!
with their insecurity.
Whoa, Poach, is there any difference? So gaslighting I kind of seen as you purposely misleading someone's thought processes. Gaslighting to me says, I want to make Poach seem like he's crazy for thinking what he's doing. You know?
I feel like that's what happens.
Yeah. You have a thought that's most likely perfectly logical if you're an average guy, but the gaslighting is just like, no, you're insane for having that
insane
thought.
for having this-
But then again, America is one big gaslight.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, like I said, I don't think I ever lied to a girl.
Yeah.
But I think that it's so easy to get interpreted as a liar, as a man.
That's a big one
It's
too.
just so easy.
Yeah, I imagine all of us have been called
dealt with it.
manipulation
I'm
at
fine
some
with
point
it.
or another.
Yeah.
Am I right?
I've gave up on.
Oh,
finding it.
my favorite one in college. They say, you remember this one, Poach? They said, "Oh, Mitch, look out for that. Look out for.
Look out for Mitch.
Look out for Mitch. He's convincing." Dog, that was the word, convincing.
Ooh.
And I'm like, ooh. At first, my feelings are hurt. But then I'm
Yeah,
just
is that
like,
an insult?
Yeah, is that an insult? I don't
That's
get
like,
it. But then I
admirable,
realized, like maybe years later, my archetype is the storyteller. I weave tales.
They try to make that synonymous with deceptive, though, convincing.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Because, like, there's all these words, right? Deceptive, convincing, gaslighting. Do they all mean the same thing, you think? Are they all pointing at the same thing?
Yeah, how do you know you're not convincing someone away from the terrible thought process they have?
Yeah, away from their destruction.
To the right idea.
This is exactly why I couldn't give you a definition on what that word means.
Whoa, right?
Gaslight?
We've been talking about it for 15 minutes. We still have no idea.
Yeah.
There's
so many like subcategories too, it seems.
It's just a made up emotional thing to try to get sympathy out of, because I think we become manipulators or gaslighters in their eyes when we decide that we don't feel like playing anymore.
Yo, and not to mention the means, right? They're like, if you're counter to their means, all of a sudden you're a convincer. You're manipulating me into seeing it your way. It's sort of just this preconditioned or pre-existing contempt in a way. You and I don't agree, so stop convincing me. Stop trying to get me when I know I have my morals. I'm set. I'm good. Don't worry about me, Dao. Don't worry about me. But that's rough when people aren't sort of open to that, and it really is union. You know, they haven't looked into themselves deeper, for sure. But really, that just comes down to, for me, what do you guys think? It's just what's truth and what's a lie. I mean, that's the simple, logical way to look at it.
That's what I want to define it as. Like,
right.
This whole term gaslighting, or I don't know, whatever.
Is it true or is it not?
It's called lying. Like, we've had this word for 10,000 years.
It is emotional manipulation. I'm calling it now, guys. It just hit me now. I don't know if it hit you like I did. But there's truth and then there's lie. But manipulation, gaslight, deceptive, all these words are just your insecurities, are your lack of any critical thinking. Because someone's trying to convince you or make their argument and you're not comfortable with it, bitch. Whoa.
And
I just figured it out for myself. Oh my God.
And it's like, why are you putting the responsibility of your vision of reality on my ability to convince you of it?
Man.
It's like, think for yourself.
That's lack of self.
Yeah.
It's lack of self-knowledge,
It's like,
any number of things.
It's my fault because I convinced you to end yourself. I mean, that's an extreme example, but it's
another
just like,
one. It's because of you. You made me think this way. You made me do it. Nah, you're an individual.
Yeah.
How far does that actually go, though? How far does that actually go? Because you see a lot of that now in this leftist-controlled media and judges and courts. You could arrest Trump for 176 years, whatever the fuck it is, for saying, no, I don't think the election was up and up. What? Dude, we're living in a weird world. Let me tell you, no.
Yeah, he didn't even definitively say I should be president. He said there's a lot of funny stuff going on. That's basically the extent.
Going on. No, but I like your thought, though.
Yeah, it's not on the person making an assertion of it's. That's why the culture is getting so toxic right now, because you're being blamed for speech, and it's just like
projection. Oh, I didn't do the thing. Projection, bro. I think that's the biggest thing around. Projection.
Yep. It's on the person receiving the information to do whatever they want with it.
Yes.
It's not my responsibility to say the right thing so you follow what I say or don't follow what I say. It's me just saying something.
Yeah, and if you don't have a strong will or a stronger conscience, then you are deceptive. You are vulnerable to the gaslight. You don't got that 20/20 vision, girl. You got to see through the gas.
And that's such a deep concept, and it's so cyclical that you could be called a gaslighter for saying, I want to save you from being gaslit.
Yo, the gas goes deep, dog.
Yeah, like that's gaslighting in stone
gas
form.
Goes deep. You don't know how manipulative I am.
Are we fracking?
I'm manipulating you so much.
Fracking.
The gas goes deep. We fracking deep right now.
It's like you in your own mind could have the purest intentions and it can still be misconstrued. So that's why it goes all back to your point about projection.
Yes. Projection. That's a big word that hits me too, because it's just like, it feels like if there's this person with this big character, again, I've been in this situation a lot. Perhaps I'm a big character, but somebody who has like a smaller character thinks less of themselves, less of their own opinions. All of a sudden the finger points. It was you, Mitch. It was you. Whoa. I offered my kind and sincere advice. That's all I did.
I simply just
I
made
simply
a statement.
edged you in the right direction. You know, but like, what can I do? I can't get inside your body. I can't possess you. I'm not a demon, or am I?
They put you on a divine level when they make that kind of decision about that.
And it shows the projection. It shows your animosity toward that person. It really does. Like, and projection, animosity toward yourself. I think that's the biggest thing that we neglect to see a lot of the times. It's hard to point this way. It's literally physically hard to point this way. But pointing that way is great. You got a straight arm and you're like, it was you, bitch. It's hard to turn it back on yourself, but somebody told you one thing. It's not like, I shouldn't have listened to that asshole. It's that asshole. It's him. Am I right?
Right. It's not, man, maybe I shouldn't have listened to
Maybe
it. But
I
it's his
shouldn't
fault.
have listened to him. That's too many motions.
Wow.
It's easier to just go like this. Think about life,
Yeah, it's
dude.
much harder to...
Boom, boom. It's harder.
This is easier
It's
than
not
that.
easy. Think about it. Yeah, you talked about that as well. And just like, actually, it was originally Freudian, but I love the concept just for fun. I'll mention it. But when people found these, people found with psychological problems, there was physical manifestations as well. You had digestive problems. You could not digest the situation. You know, you have visual problems. You could not see the right answer. And it's just funny how this stuff works out. I'm not a spiritual bitch who's talking about crystals and astrology, but listen, y'all, like, you got to look deeper, analyze your dreams.
And it seemed in a way that Schopenhauer was kind of, in a way, sympathizing with the woman in her uncanny ability to be in the present moment.
Oh, yes.
Which
he says good things.
Yeah, which we don't have as strong of an ability to do so because we're so into the future and about possibilities, and we've already looked past the easiest solution.
Yeah.
But he says that women will always offer the quickest and easiest solution to something.
The
It's like,
low-hanging
great,
fruit. That's why women's jokes are so bad.
yeah. Because comedy is very in-depth. You have to like think, all right, if I say this, they're going to think that.
Layers deep.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like with the easy solution, yes, it's an easy solution for now, but what implications does the easy solution have a year from now?
Yeah, that's right. And that's women or men's nature of protecting. You have to protect them. Sometimes you gaslight to protect them from their fucking selves. Bitch, you sometimes, not all the time, but listen, sometimes a lot of the time. Y'all need to be protected from your dumb ass self.
You need gaslight.
You need a little gas in your light. Come on now. And it's not something, here's the thing though, it's not something that's done maliciously, maybe not even intentionally. Like, y'all forget about the game of life. Y'all dumbass feminists who think you got the world under control. Nah, you don't know. You're forgetting about the basics. You're up here. Dude, I'm just imagining this now, but women are up here on the top of the Empire State Building, but the bottom is getting so thin. It's a paper rope thin.
Oh, man.
And you're falling. You forgot about the basics.
Yep.
You're all rushing to the top floor. Everyone's running into America, crossing the border now. But America can't handle that. We're gonna collapse. Y'all are doing it to yourselves because you forgot the basics. You forgot the wisdom of the ancients. Seriously.
Damn, and Mitch bringing it all back to the ancients.
Bring it all back. Welcome to Ancient Wisdom.
Oh.
Welcome to Ancient Wisdom. We're here again with a hot show. We have a word of the day. It's called amelioration. Did you look that up by any chance, Evan?
I did. Apparently, amelioration refers to the act or process of making something better or improving its condition, quality, or circumstances. Often involves enhancing a situation, condition. Oh, same thing again.
Improvement, more or
Yeah,
less.
improve.
A good way to remember, I just wrote it down. AI, amelioration, improvement. Basically the same thing. Interesting. Now you're smarter. Guys, we're easy to manipulate now. We're real easy to manipulate because you're so stupid. You don't know about Schopenhauer. You don't know about life. You don't know about yourself. Think about it. Start thinking. That's what this show's about because they did in the ancient times because that's all they had.
Damn.
But we're going to talk about a lot today. We're talking about Russell Brand's grape juice allegations. A lot of grape going around. Watch out. Lock your doors. Hide your kids. Russell Brand's on the loose. And the future of history. This is Ancient Wisdom. Let's start off with a hot one. Culture is not your friend. Wow.
Culture is not your friend.
No.
No,
I was gonna say-
he's not that big. Culture's not your friend, guys. Y'all should know this. And Culture is not Russell Brand's friend either. He's been accused. How many followers does he have? Do you guys know? Almost
Close to
7 million.
Close to 10. Yeah,
He
somewhere
came out
around
of
there.
nowhere
Yeah,
with
between
that.
6 and 7. What's that, Poach?
He came out of nowhere with that. I didn't know he was doing all his talks.
His talks.
Oh, I don't know what we're getting into.
His
Poach is
YouTube
unaware
channel.
of this.
I'm unaware of this grape.
We
thing.
gotta say grape. Yeah, sorry, I gotta bleep that out.
His YouTube
grape
channel,
juice.
yeah.
Yes.
No, I have no idea about this.
So his YouTube channel has been demonetized. He can't make money off YouTube. I mean, granted, I kind of thought that had already happened, and you shouldn't be relying on that shit anyway. But what are you gonna? It's still fucked up. I mean, in this country, aren't we? What's the word? Innocent until proven guilty. They're just like, nah. YouTube follows its own rule.
It's the same tired pattern of someone who's decently successful, well, really successful, and hasn't been in Hollywood for a few years, probably because the opinions he has been saying out in the open.
Yep.
And he's come to the conclusion, all right, same thing as YouTube. I can't really make money in Hollywood, so just go balls to the wall with the opinions that I have and make fans the old-fashioned way, not just for the actor. Goes back to the mask we all put on, the persona when we're, quote, manipulating or gaslighting kind of
Y'all
thing.
gotta know at this point, especially if you're watching this channel, like if you don't think for yourself, this is why we have the First Amendment. If you don't think for yourself, if you don't say what you want to say, I even say what I want to say on this show. We just bleep it and don't show you if it's too racy. But you have to be able to say what you say. And for the most part, I think Russell Brand is probably doing something similar to us here. And it's don't you even feel it? The cage inside your soul. Guys, it is the First Amendment. It is the first thing that crossed their mind.
Number one.
Because the mind is where the speech comes from. You gotta be able to think, and hopefully you gotta be able to say what you think. And then if it's a dumb idea, we're talking about capitalism, smack that shit down. Your boys should make fun of you for it.
Whoa.
If not, you don't have good boys. Yeah, I'm a good old boy.
Wow, and hope this doesn't get canceled, but it's like it
I'll
seems
take
so
it out if not. We're good.
It's
What
so-
we talked about.
We're
it's
beyond
so
cancel.
We're uncancelable.
it's so inevitable for our speech to be attacked in the way it is when we let the other gender get involved with the speech issue, because we've already established that they misconstrue what we say.
Oh man.
And it's not what we said usually ever at all.
Yeah.
They apply
Yo,
their
they
own
do it on
gaslighting. They
purpose
gaslight
sometimes.
us.
Yo, they gaslight the gaslighters. Who's the bigger gaslighter?
But your boys will
You're
correct
adding
you
gas to the
objectively.
gas, yeah. I don't think women. Yo, that's the problem. Women and their friends will be like, "Yeah, you slay queen. Like, you should totally get divorced." And
she's
men
not.
are like, "Bro," you know what I mean? And men are just like, "Yo, that's pretty dumb."
Yeah, you shouldn't do that. Oh, okay. Thanks,
Yeah,
King.
thanks, bro. Hit the gym. You're looking fat. I heard it.
bro.
Yeah, this guy's looking out for me.
This meme.
You still say
Thanks,
thanks,
bro.
bro.
Yeah, thanks. Bro.
Big chin.
Can I look at you this way? Thanks, bro. Ah, there.
Chiseled Chad.
Yeah, the Chad meme is sick. God, these fucking interesting people.
Poor Russell.
I hope they're watching this. Yeah, dog. And like Russell admits that, yeah, he was addicted to drugs. He was addicted to sex. But what could you expect from a Hollywood dude? Y'all know how fucked up Hollywood is. Y'all know what they get into there. And Russell knows more than most.
And again, they act like these people. They act like they don't know.
They're great actors in Hollywood.
But it's what benefit do you have ever being truthful about? Like, he probably thought in his mind he was doing the right thing by saying, like, yeah, I was into all this stuff, but I'm different now, and that was the culture, and it's an evil system that
that
I'm
was
trying to
the
get away
first-
from.
yeah,
But it's like,
mistake.
just because he did it, everyone's going to drag his name through the mud.
Did
And
what?
not even realize, again, easier to go like this.
Yeah,
than it
it's
is to go like
hard.
this.
Too many joints are activated.
Yeah, but if you're honest with yourself, it's like, have you really never conceptualized doing something bad in your mind?
And not only that, I mean, I don't think he did it. I'll straight up come out
Me
and
too.
say that.
Same.
It's always possible. But, yo, it just seems like I have this word, rite of passage, this phrase. It seems like a rite of passage for anybody that's successful enough, has enough influence, and is saying the perfect things to create the perfect storm for those who run what's going on. I won't say more. But it just seems like this rite of passage for any successful person, and it's a damn shame. And we wonder why the world is so fucked up. I mean, this is why incels are created, yo. It's the natural progression of the world. I feel like I can't blame them. Poe just telling me about this crazy shit in Japan. What are they just like checking bitches in the street? What's going on with that?
So it's this is a bad one.
Yeah, the negative side of the incel, the brute side.
Yeah, this is a bad one. So in Japan, they got like these really cloistered, I guess, video game kids. It's an epidemic in Japan, in the crowded subways, where really disgruntled, I guess, deep incel kids just elbow good-looking girls. Like they just.
Is that what it is? They got to be attractive too.
That's who's victimized, is what I read. Yeah.
Whoa. I shouldn't be laughing.
Wow. Yeah. So they're cloistered and they don't know how to let out their sexual energy. So they go in big public places and elbow people publicly.
Isn't that fucked up?
And they run away.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Yo, as if you're not a coward enough in the first place. Yeah, what a piece of shit. It's not the woman's fault. First of all, it's your fault. I get it. Society should create incels. Should. Maybe that's not a good word. Society does create incels. That's just the world we live in. It just happens.
I agree.
But the fact that that you're having the negative side of all this nonsense, it's pretty fucked up. Yeah, I don't know. I'll go into it. I just get distracted.
It seems like a natural progression, though. I agree with you in that sense because it's torture for them to constantly see every day what they can never have.
Yo, I'll say, like I feel it too. Sometimes seeing a really hot bitch ruins your day. You're like, dang. oh man, just ruins your whole day.
Yep, because you'll never have what you want.
Oh yeah, girl.
The despair kicks in.
Listen, you're busy. You got a lot going on. You see her real quick out of the corner of your eye. You don't even have the chance to ask for her number. That's like the worst part. Oh no, you reach, and she's gone. She pulls up in the car next to you. No.
Maybe they were very brutish.
Yeah. One time I got a number real quick at a stoplight. I'm like, quick, tell me your number. I'll remember it. And they told me it, and I didn't remember.
Leave out the area code.
Yeah.
I know it already.
Yeah, sorry. I got. No. Don't give it.
We're in northern Milwaukee.
Guys, these are the smartest folks in northern Milwaukee. We got Ebu Bax. We got Poj Pajowski. We're killing.
Wow, that's
it up in here.
That's interesting how men feel that despair at the beginning, but women will feel that at the end.
That's what they say, right? Is that real? Is that true?
It seems that way because women, they wouldn't have a problem getting a man at the
True, they don't have trouble starting.
Right, but after all the gaslighting, they fall in love, I guess.
Damn.
And they can't see
That's
it go.
a big thing in like the red pill community, right? Where it's like women be acting like they don't see the red flags too. Like it's just very clear nowadays. Women want the top 5-10% of men. The top 5-10% of men know all the women want them. Come on, guys. They know this. They're the hot bitches of the men. And they're like, all right, I'll fuck you. And you're going to be upset because I don't text you because I'm fucking her because she's hotter. I'm in that mood tonight. And y'all act like you don't know what's going on. Y'all act like you don't understand. But you wanted that guy, didn't you? You saw the flags, but you just ignore them. And you're still going to point the finger because it's harder to go like this. You got more joints.
And that's where the deception, at least for me, comes in because I feel like I've even tested the waters of introducing red flags for myself. But it like...
Is that gaslighting, Evan?
Yes.
Gaslighting yourself?
I guess.
Is that what I'm hearing?
I guess. I mean, I don't see it that way, but you realize from trial and error that even by using a red flag, quote, red flag, that it actually works.
What do you mean? You're gaslighting yourself? What do you mean by that?
If you portray a negative quality about yourself that would be seen as like a red flag and you make it apparent that it's a red flag, it's almost like it works in your favor in the terms of like men and women relationships.
Give me an example. Have you ever done that?
What was the example? It was... I said to a girl that I didn't like being driven by women, like I should always drive.
Nice.
And that could be seen as sexist,
Even
but she laughed.
Even that's gaslighting. Yeah, because I don't see that as nothing.
Right.
I see that as like natural life.
But that's the thing. It's all the perception. She probably saw it as a joke, but I'm dead serious about it. Like,
whoa, it's real. And you said what's real. You see it as gaslighting because you think she's going to be gaslighting. She saw it as the gaslight. The joke came from that. The laughter, the humor came out of that. So you guys are still on the other side of this gassy fence. There's still this gassy fence, but you have this different perception of the gas. Y'all are seeing different Rorschach in the gas. Woo!
right. And then it's seen as gaslighting when it comes down to the very moment where you actually fulfill what you said you were going to do. So it's like, I told you
Why
I
do
didn't
you always
want you
drive? Bitch, I told you.
I told you I
don't trust women driving. What? I thought you were kidding. I thought it was all a big joke.
Exactly.
Yeah, wow.
And
this is why they just can't get along, huh?
And to prove we weren't ever gaslighting, they just misconstrue what we say. It's the classic joke that we always laugh about, Kelly from The Office. Like, what kind of man just says exactly what they're thinking?
Oh yeah.
What kind of game?
That certainly can be the archetype. God. I don't know. I feel bad for Russell. Yep. Thoughts and prayers out for this guy. It's got to be tough, but you know what? You're the one that decided to have so many goddamn followers. Can I say goddamn? I don't think so. I feel like they don't allow that on television and stuff like that. Any final thoughts, Poge?
For me, I just wish I knew more about the story, but I think I picked up all the context clues.
Yeah, he's successful. They said he had a lot of grape juice with women.
Honestly, I was surprised that he, because he was, like you said, this liberal, druggy guy, and then he went full conservative on YouTube. I was actually really surprised about that.
Supposedly conservative.
Is that what happened? Like,
yeah, you know, they're labeling him conservative now, but... Yeah. I'll even say from my own perspective, he's as center as it comes, really.
Well, he's just playing both sides to get views.
But then again, I hate even to say these sides now because it just feels like we're at a war with logic. There's no sides. It's the rich versus the poor, as it's always been. No side works out. Communism doesn't work out. Capitalism doesn't work out because they're all fucked up in government, and they all find a way to fuck us anyway. There's never been any sides. There's never been any left or right. It's the logic and people that think for themselves and actually have a brain and are in touch with ancient wisdom, and those who don't, and those who believe everything they're told. That's why it's so frustrating. There is no gas. There is no light. Or maybe there's no gas. There's only light. That's a good one. That's
so deep because it makes me realize that Russell has, at least in the recent years, has been so authentically being himself that they had... If it's true or not, they had to invent an actual egregious crime to be like, that's what you get for thinking for yourself.
Yeah, and watch out next time.
Yeah, now we're really going to fuck you up. Because you said what you said, now we're going to invent something that is actually bad because we all know deep in our soul that speech really isn't bad in itself.
And it's so easy to do, dog. Like some rich guy who's running his whatever can just find some bitch that Russell fucked when he was messed up on drugs and be like, hey, I'll give you $20,000 if you just say Russell raped you. And they're like, okay, sure.
Yep.
It's so easy. I don't know. It's absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, thoughts and prayers, guys. Let's move on to a new topic. A little man versus machina. Parker, Paul Walker.
Didn't know that rhyme.
Oh, it does if you sound like Kanye,
I suppose.
Listen, everybody, I've been thinking about a lot of stuff. This is a little more enigmatic one, of course, but see if you could meet me halfway and let's get deep about it. I had this idea years and years ago. I says, in the future, there will be... I had this idea 15 years ago. I says, in the future, there will be an occupation that does not exist at this present time. And that occupation is called internet archaeology. Digging through the depths.
I remember.
Moving the mud. Because that's what it is. And I also had this cool thought this week that sort of tied that idea together. I just sort of says to myself, I says, history now in the internet era and the YouTube era has become intertwined with content. Now let that sink in, right? Back in the day, you had to read a book. You had to read Herodotus and the Bible to get any type of information, any type of history. What you called history. It was a story. It was a tale. It was a different medium. And before that, it was just word of mouth. Was it not? It was the tales. This is why we have all the origin stories. And it seems like now in the YouTube age particularly, but of course all mediums of media, Paul Walker, Peter Parker, you have these so many resources to look up in this digital cloud that's floating around us at all time, and history has become intertwined with content. If you want to know what happened in 2019, you watch a couple YouTube videos.
Whoa.
But think about what you're asking. You'll get everything that happened in 2019. You'll get too much.
Wow, it's like they can, in the history books, they can contain an entire year of events by marking one event.
Oh, yeah. Literally in a paragraph. The war happened then. You'd be lucky if you get a date, with some of that stuff, some of the earlier stuff.
Yeah, I never thought of it that way. Just the history in the past year alone that's happened.
Right. And there's so much of it. It's just like this thought that blew my mind kind of the other day. I says, if you want to watch a guy shaking his ass at a strip club in 2019, you got it. That's history. That happened. It has been documented. There's people talking about it, commenting about it. You have multiple first-hand sources in the comment section. The internet archaeologists. You'll know too much that happened before it was romanticized.
I don't have an actual citation on this, but there's something crazy I heard. Like every year that we get so much more internet content, every year there's like 90% more stuff uploaded than the year before.
I heard something like
every
that.
Year after year. 90% more than last year.
So almost doubles every year, like logarithmic. Just expands and expands and expands. We need the service. That's insane, dude.
Of just extra stuff. There's data being posted.
So we're having more and more, and most of it's fucking garbage, like the dude twerking in 2019. But it's just so interesting that, dare I say, that nothing is left to the imagination. I mean, look no further than, can I even say pornography? I don't know what I can and can't say.
Cornography.
The studying of corn. I'll put that in. Nothing is left to the imagination. Like, I don't need to know that somebody twerked in 2019, especially if it was a gay dude. But Herodotus told you everything that you needed to know, nothing more, nothing less. That's what the Christians say about the Bible. Even his historical scholars sort of make that claim when it comes to the Bible, that perhaps they wrote everything they wanted to tell you, nothing more, nothing less. And in Hebrew, a lot of the times it was different because of words, translations, pronouns, this and that. There's slightly different translations that could mean slightly different things in certain contexts, but they wrote it that way sometimes to be a little ambiguous. And that was the point of it. How interesting that is.
And I think it's funny because I think most people would agree that the Bible was written to be a roadmap or to help humankind. But people will still find a way to say that, that's gaslighting. You know what I mean? It's like
this episode is called Gaslighting.
Yeah, they still find a way to be upset about something that was written so long ago or have some kind of problem with it. But it's very clear that the Bible's intention was to steer people in the right direction.
That's a big one. Yeah, nothing more, nothing less. We say it all the time, but they killed Jesus, guys. They killed the greatest guy, whether you believe him or not. They killed that dude, and everybody says, even the atheists say, he was saying some good shit.
What'd he do wrong?
What'd he do wrong? And they killed that guy. And you think they're not coming for you? They're coming for you, dog. I had this also pretty cool thought the other day, sort of branching off that, but we're going to come back to history and content, that you're sort of forced in society, in the world, to play the middle ground. It's fucked up, but that's the nature of the game. You got to be ballsy enough to sort of pick a side or whatever sometimes if you want to have that kind of fun. But you can't be too virtuous or you're going to get crucified like Jesus. You can't do it because then you have too much love and people are like, I don't like this love. You're making my love look bad. which is
my
really not.
God.
Yo, think about it, right?
And
you
they
can't be too
gaslight.
evil, so you'll be put in prison and you'll be killed either way. You'll be killed either way unless you play both sides. And think about it. That's where the gaslight comes from. That's the gas generator. Yo! That is the gas generator of the world.
And-
Is the fact that you have to play this middle ground. You have to lie. We're forced to lie. We're forced to see enemies everywhere. Have this anxiety.
But you know what the
Manipulation.
You know what the kill shot is, though?
What's
They
that?
say, be yourself. Speak your truth.
Speak your
But if you do, you're fucked.
Yeah. Yo, I don't think the woman that invented that, because it was a woman.
Yes,
I don't
yeah.
think she
We already know to be
realized-
ourselves.
Guys, Evan, you just lack emotional intelligence. You just don't understand, all right?
Sorry. That's what they've all said to me.
Yeah. Since the beginning of time, do the women speak your truth. You know what? I don't know if this is true. I can't say that it's true, but women, maybe they are softer. Maybe they are. Maybe it's not all gaslight. Maybe they don't want to all murder their ex-boyfriend. Do you guys see those videos online where it's just like everyone talking about their exes? All the guys were like, yeah, I wish her nothing but the best. Great girl. You see
Where this is going.
and there's like, wow, she was a nice girl. It just didn't work out. And then they ask the girls, what do you think of? Fuck that. Fuck him. I hope he dies. His family rots in hell. I'm going to piss on his grave.
There's a song that was pushed in the mainstream. I'm not going to give it the title, but the woman just says over and over, F you and your mom and your sister and everyone else in your life except your dog.
And they want me to speak my truth. That's you speaking your truth. I mean, that's the most honest I've probably ever heard a woman speak. I don't like it.
She said curse everyone in your life
Curse, y'all.
except your dog.
Except your dog. Your dog didn't really do anything wrong.
Yeah.
I wanted custody anyway.
And that's why white women aren't having kids.
Poj, any thoughts about this?
Oh, what was the question again?
So we're
Sorry,
talking
guys,
about...
I got lost.
All right, I want to ask you about this quote, Poj.
Yeah.
1984, there was a hot quote that came out, George Orwell.
Mm-hmm.
Who controls the past, ran the party slogan, controls the future. Who controls the present, controls the past. Does that do anything for you? Does that tickle any nerves?
What I hear him
Does that-
saying, what I really hear him saying is, you can cut all that out. He's saying whoever controls the present is just controlling it all.
So we're cutting the bullshit.
Yeah.
Whoever Whoa.
Whoever controls the present controls the past.
You know
the
what? You
future,
simplified
and the
it.
present. Pretty much
Shit.
everything.
But you hit it deep for
Yeah.
me, right? Because we always talk about the present. That's always the end of the philosophical discussions, right? Is he who masters the present. Dare I say it's synonymous with mastering yourself.
That's why those women were so upset by you being convincing.
Oh.
It's just like to be convincing, you need to be fully immersed in your argument, which is same.
Convincible.
Yeah, you're in the present. It's just like you can't be convincing unless you're totally here and now, and you've got every type of ammo in your arsenal for your argument.
Yeah, you know what? The wiser women of the past have always understood men, because they do. Guys, don't get lost in the present where everybody's retarded. There are women in the past who've understood men, and they realize men sort of have this obsessive nature because they're meant to be protectors and providers. So when they learn something, they learn the ins and outs, they read the whole manual, they know it night and day, everything. So the joy of a man is being able to talk about his mastery. He wants to talk about what interests him. And the wisest women will allow him to talk about that. And you know what? The even wiser women will fucking learn from that.
Yep.
We'll just shut up and listen. That's all the men want. That's the entire joy he gets out of life is peace and mastering his craft. Am I missing anything?
Nope, because in mastering your craft, you've already in your own mind worked out all the details that could harm your craft. Kind of what you.
That's a good one too.
Like there's no. If you're truly a master of your craft, you really need no input from the external. You're fully immersed in your craft.
Yeah, that's the point. And as me and Poj were talking about earlier, writing some comedy stuff, like the essence of comedy, the essence of people, the essence of interaction is interaction, right? To be able to bounce ideas. There's only a limit that one person can do. One person can't create the pyramids.
I always get more ideas if I bounce it off somebody. Like I could be stuck on a project or something, and I won't really know what what direction to go in, that's the point where I'm like, I gotta get this into like a presentable form to show somebody so they could just like slap me and say I'm wrong or do something and give me some advice. You hit a wall if you're by yourself. It happens to everybody.
Yeah, it's true. The writer's block, that's what it is. You need to go out, take a walk, talk to people, real life, have different experiences. It's all very important to being an artist or being yourself, being a person. Realizing that it is not you is very enlightening too. Interacting with different people who don't think like you, and that's kind of the point. Hitting the wall, I don't know.
And if I could go back to your initial point about history, internet archaeology and history, if you control the past, you control the future. I think internet archaeology still will be a future profession. Even though we have AI now.
Yes, that was my fear.
Because AI is trained like an employee to dig up the past that you want it to dig up.
Damn, like your ex-girlfriend and the private investigator.
Yeah. Like, why are there so many women archaeologists? Because they love digging up the past. One of my favorites.
Damn.
But yeah, I think it'll still exist as a profession because we need to extract the 99.9% of all the other stuff that was happening at that point in time, besides the thing that the victor of history just wrote.
Oh, here's a hot take, right? So I've been thinking for probably years since GPT came out, whatever the hell it's called. That I says, what are humans actually going to be able to do? What? Seriously. Everything I thought about has been shot down by either me or the experts. What can people actually do that AI cannot do? And I thought of something yesterday. Probably my first one is if you know a town really well and you're driving around, the GPS doesn't know that you don't want to drive down this road because there's too many turns. Right. The GPS doesn't know that you don't want to drive that road because there's too many crackheads and it's not safe in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
But you know, because you've done it. Like human experience. I don't think you know how I feel about the situation. The sort of, it's almost as if... get Jungian with it, the shadow, the conscious and the unconscious. The unconscious is shown in dream and the conscious is life. But it seems like the AI has sort of mastered this unconscious, which is where the logic comes from. But the conscious, the sort of feelings, the stuff that we're aware of, like how we feel when we drive down a street, not feeling safe about it. I'd rather take 5 more minutes and drive down like the street that looks nicer. I don't know. How about you guys? Comment below. What? I also... If I may.
Sorry.
I hate these YouTubers that say comment below. You know where the YouTube comment section is.
We're not patronizing.
It's obviously down there. So I should just say comment.
Yes.
I don't need to tell you where it is.
Down below.
You know it. Comment below. Hey guys, it's your boy. Comment below. I'm not gay. Poach, I apologize. I needed to get that.
All good. No, what was I going to say? I was going to say that if Google Maps didn't exist, there would be 90% less white people in South America.
Say that again. Wait, what?
If Google Maps didn't exist, there would be 90% less white people in South America right now.
Why do you say that?
I know why. That's funny.
Because it's obvious.
If Google Maps didn't exist.
It's very obvious.
Wait, I'm trying to figure out this equation.
It makes everybody feel safe. They're like, I'm just going to listen to Google.
Can I take a
I thought
stab
that was
at
an
it?
immigrant joke or something.
Can I take a stab at it, Poach?
Go for it.
What I hear Poach saying is that we know that 80% of Latin America is hell and torment.
Oh,
that we only want to stay
being racist. I get it. I get the big joke.
We only want to go to Cusco.
Yeah.
And freaking Machu Picchu.
Yes.
We don't want to go anywhere else.
It's made it very easy to travel.
You hope you know. You hope you know.
Weird places.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
You hope you could judge the cab driver's character.
I think I'm wrong.
I don't think I'm racist at all. Well, no, you're right, dog. You don't want to go to all these places. There's a few big places for a reason. God, we're talking about going to Israel. And you realize how spread apart these biblical areas are. I want to go to the Sea of Galilee, but it's like way up north. A lot of the cool stuff like Bethlehem is in Palestine. And if you leave the area and come back, there's so many security checkpoints that they fuck you up, won't leave you alone. Or, Poach, didn't you have a story about a friend who was straight kicked out of the country?
Israel?
For going into Palestine?
I don't have a friend, no.
Oh, okay. I thought somebody told me a story that they just went to go eat at like a Palestinian restaurant, and they just like he came back to the Jewish area and they kicked him out of the country.
That was not my friend from work. That was my dad's friend.
That was your okay.
Who went on like a church trip to see the Holy Land, and he got really interested in them smoking lamb, and he went to talk to the Palestinians.
The Polish guy wanted to know about smoking.
Yeah, he was being innocent Polish old man.
Yeah, damn.
And they thought, why are you talking to Palestinians?
Yeah,
and they
question him and
flew
shit.
Him back to JFK instantly.
Whoa, that's messed up.
Because he left the tour district in a sensitive area.
Wow. And they say in all the books, you could totally go to Palestine, catch a cab, and come back. You're fine.
What? You want to do Jerry Seinfeld?
You're fine. Because I'm in Israel. You're fine, Jerry.
Yeah, you got to fit in. Wow, I would definitely take that trip with you guys.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
I got to go to the Holy Land. It's called a pilgrimage for a reason. We got to make it there sometime.
Yeah, and they tell you don't leave the resort in Jamaica.
There's a lot of places.
You don't even open your GPS. You just know.
Jamaica, any of the Bahamas. Oh, don't do it.
The funny thing is, they actually flew him back with an escort, an Israeli escort.
Dude, that's
how serious they are there. Yeah, they were like, we really can't be sure of your motives, so we're flying you back with an escort.
That makes me think of free speech again. It's just like, what are you afraid of me hearing over there when they're smoking lamb?
For real. I just wanted to know a smoking technique. Yeah. Anyway, all right. I feel like moving on. Let's do a little bit of the Dao. Get deep.
I was going to say what joy out of seeing you in the straw hat at the end because I never had the monitor to look at.
Oh, nice. I'm glad you actually get to see the show. Hopefully the fans get the same joy. It's Mitch translates the Dao. Evan finally gets to see it because he's never been able to see the monitor. That's what he was saying. Guys, we're at chapter 8. 8 out of 81, but 8 nonetheless. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're going to release this as a big upload at some point. But here we go. Mitch translates the Dao, chapter 8. The highest good is like water. Water is good for the 10,000 things, yet does not try to be so. It dwells where people least want to go. It is in the right place. Its center is righteously profound and benevolent. Words spoken with righteous faith. In politics, ruled righteously. All matters rightly possible. All things done at the right time.
Every chapter is just better and better. It's all about how to be a good person, it seems like, at the end of the day.
Yeah, dude, we're getting deep. And you'll notice my first sort of comment about all this, you'll notice there was a lot of right, righteously, righteous, rightly, good. Now, I found it very important to say right off the bat that I use these words differently because they sort of needed to with the flow, with the translation, but it is all the same Chinese character. This is all the thing. The highest good is like water. Water is good for it's all the same character, mind you. It's in the right place. I use right for good. It's the same character. Its center is righteously profound. Words spoken with righteous faith. In politics, ruled righteously. All matters rightly possible. All things done at the right. It's all the same kanji. Dude, the Chinese, I'm so glad I read the Chinese. It is written like a puzzle. It's written like an equation. Each chapter has its own theme. It's ridiculous. So I thought that important to say.
So go ahead, Poach.
I'm getting Bruce Lee vibes.
Well, he does. I do know that.
Be like the water.
Yeah, he has a quote where he says, "Be like water."
But I'll go to why I think he wants to be like water, and I think I finally figured out after hearing this Dao. So, Mitch, what really got me with this one is the 10,000 things I said last time. 10,000 is the biggest number they have.
Yes.
It's
Yes,
infinity.
that's right. I apologize.
It's
I didn't say
infinity.
that earlier. 10,000 things means everything. Yeah,
It's
everything
all-
you could name.
Yeah.
You don't even know that many words, most people.
So line 2, water is good for the 10,000 things. Water is good for everything.
Yes.
Yet it does not try to be so. That brings me back to that Bruce Lee, where he's like, be like the water, because the water will just flow around your opponent. Yet it can strike rock and destroy it
That's
in the right
true.
conditions.
It wears away at it. It's true. It carves the deepest canyons. Much like one of the first ones was talking about the valley being the woman carving through it, being itself. But also, this is a hot line where the stanza finishes. It dwells where people least want to go. Much like water, it goes into the sewers. It goes into the dark places, into the
Whoa.
underbelly. And it has no opinion about it either. Isn't that sick?
Yeah, if left alone, it does the perfect task that it's meant to do. And we can, when we interact with water, we can turn it into evil if we want. Like, people have drowned from drinking too much water before, which water's inherently good, but the human intervention can make it commit an evil act almost.
That's a good interpretation. I saw it as like I'm just seeing it now as like an Indian kalpa. Have you guys heard about this? How India sees sort of the Hinduism tradition sees the world as kalpa, something like 25,000 years, give or take, that it's the earth, the world, existence starts off as beautiful and gets worse and worse. The second kalpa and the third kalpa of destruction, which they say we're currently in right now, the destruction of all mankind and life itself, which is funny, something to think about, something for another episode. We can talk about it if you want. Damn. But it's much like the water, dude. The water starts in the highest of places, on the mountain, in the cloud, and it runs down, and it's beautiful rivers all the way. It's the freshest water, but every step of the way it gets polluted. Every step of the way, someone takes a shit in that water. Every step of the way until it ends up in the sewer, the lowest of places. And all the while, folks, all the while, it has no opinion. It has no feeling towards it at all. It's teaching us about life. Water, Bruce Lee, it goes around the opponent. Much like lightning, it takes the path of least resistance, and it goes there without feeling a thing, without opinion about its obstacle.
Wow, water could be pretty deep, because you think about you.
You know, like the ocean.
Sorry, I couldn't stop.
Yeah, there's like a lot of fish there too.
We need.
It's like
That'd be
there's
a
like
perfect
creatures
character.
that live there. And
We didn't have a character to interpret. That's not you.
Oh, what do you think about that one?
Yeah, but and aside from depth of like the ocean,
Whoa, water could be deep.
it's deep in the fact that it all comes from what did you say? The highest.
Yeah,
The highest
place.
peak, the top of the mountains, the ice caps, the fresh water flowing down to the rest of the globe, if it is a globe. But where does it end up? Is it recycled? Is it back to the top? Is it the same water? How does that happen?
They don't say. We don't know.
But
that
the gaslighters of the world tend to think that it's all melting and raising the level of the water. But it's like all the water that was ever going to be is here already.
Yeah. Not to mention that's a good theme. Just like my mind naturally goes to just like people talking shit about menial jobs. It's like, all right, at least this guy's working. He's not a drug addict in the sewer. You know, it's like he just happens to be in the sewer.
I hate that stuff.
Yeah,
People-
bullshit,
oh my
dog.
God.
There's dignity
The
in
guy's
work. There's
doing
dignity
it.
in
Bitch
yo.
figures, toilet cleaners, like you're doing it.
He's doing it. Wow, that's so deep, man.
Yeah.
That means so much more than
water.
modern people are willing to see. Y'all have become too accustomed to what this guy does. Y'all have become too accustomed to the luxury that he provides.
You go
So
do
fuck
it.
you. Think about you. Yeah, you go do it for real.
Yeah,
It's
you go
like,
pick up trash.
get out of town, dog. And I like how it really ends with this big conclusion after all righteous, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, Lao Tzu. All things done at the right time. That's the last phrase. And it almost feels to me that's what the whole the whole chapter equals. If blah, 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 then this. Then all done at the right time. If you are all like water, all these will naturally happen. Much like your mind. If you're in the right place, you will naturally be that way. You will naturally have no inhibitions. You don't care. You have no opinions about being in the lowest places. It will yet again, an equation that equals, if all these are checked, I'm checking the boxes, All things will be done at the right time, and there's really no tenses, so you wouldn't know in the ancient Chinese. I'm trying to explain it the best way I can. It's just concept after concept, and sometimes it tells you how the concepts are related, sometimes not, sometimes it's ambiguous. But I see it as that anyway in the MITCH translation. It all equals all things done at the right time. Almost as if you start with the right place, it ends with the right time. Whoa! Deep.
Yeah, what Poge said with the Bruce Lee quote is, I think that's why so many of those Eastern philosophers use water as the example. It's always in the right place at the right time. It's the essence of presence because it's always flowing. It didn't flow at one time. It's always flowing. It's not going to be flowing. It is always.
Sick. It is a process. Dude, I love I think it was Watts or son talk about the whirlpool. What is a whirlpool? You ever hear this one?
I don't remember that one.
What is a whirlpool? A whirlpool is not a thing. It's barely even a noun if you think about it, because it is a process of water moving in a circle. It is not, at any given moment, the whirlpool is a different thing. You have to redefine it at every second because it's not one thing.
Right, if anything, the noun is the act that's being put onto the water to create the whirlpool.
And what's funny, in Japanese, at least I know for sure, I don't know about Chinese, you could turn it into sort of a verb, the noun into a verb with like a quick particle. So that's a fun way to think about it. But guys, let's end off the show with one final thing, one final question about the Tao. How do we try without trying? How do we do as water does? Think about it. I want to know. Comment above.
How do I do that?
I can't do it. Comment in the URL. It's right here. It's right here. Any thoughts, guys? How do we be as water? There's really, no right or wrong answers here, folks.
You know what? The commenter can be like water because they already know where to comment. They don't need to be instructed.
Oh, shit. It's getting deep.
They don't need to be instructed.
Actually, that's deeper than you know. They don't need to be instructed, therefore you don't have to tell them. Therefore, they're already like water, so stop thinking about being water and just be water.
Mitch, I know the commenters are water because it dwells where people least want to go.
Yeah, the shitty fucking show. Thanks a lot, Poge. This has been Ancient Wisdom, the worst show on YouTube, and hopefully Rumble soon once we get kicked off.
I quit.
I think we all won, so we'll all spin the wheel. And next show, I gotta wear the Muslim hat. Good night!
That was smooth.